That's right, Warrior of Light is out, and we are going to talk about the truth of pulling for time-limited units in this game, when it's time to stop, or whether you should even try to or attempt to go for these characters. So welcome back once again to another character review here for War of the Visions. Thanks for spending that time here today, and thank you for the continued support via Patreon as well as the YouTube channel membership program. So let's dive into Warrior of Light first. Let's go over this character once and for all. There is going to be another video linked down below that directly compares Warrior of Light with Engelbert as well, but this is going to be the full in-depth Warrior of Light discussion here. So his TMR here are the Gauntlets of Light. They are an accessory, 322 HP, 18 accuracy, 8 evasion, and 8 critical evasion as well. So all around, pretty strong accessory here. And then it has the TMR effect of Divine Light, and it's going to restore 30% HP for 3 turns, self-cast as a buff, and also is going to auto-restore TP by 10% at max level for 3 turns. If you leave this at level 1, though, the HP is still going to be 30%, and the TP restoration is going to be 5%. So that's another really good thing about this TMR here, is that you can just leave it at level 1, the ability, and it's going to be fantastic. 30% HP for 3 turns and 5% TP for 3 turns as well. This allows you to use your LB pots, your armor pots, not your LB pots, but your armor pots on other accessories, other TMRs, things of that nature there. His mastery ability is going to be 20% attack as well as 5 defense, 3 movement, 1 jump. Of course, he's a light elemental there, and his jobs are the Warrior of Light, go figure, as well as Spellblade and Dragoon. He can equip swords as well as armors, helms, and accessories. So very strong character here. You're going to notice that he's not going to have as much raw defense and HP as some of the other tanks in the game. Like I said, if you want a direct comparison, though, with Engelbert and the likes, and how it actually doesn't matter that much and why it doesn't matter and how you're actually ended up tankier or just as tanky as those characters, check out that video there. So for stats here, max out amount, max level 1,342 HP. Once you get his jobs to level 99 as well, 1,609 additional HP there. On his board, he has 8 defense as well as 6 spirit. Okay, pretty strong. He has a little bit of HP there with 30 HP as well. Element resistances, he's got 10% weakness to darkness. He has 25 slash resist, -20 piercing resist, 5 striking resist, 15 missile resistance, as well as 5 magic resistance there. He's also a little bit resistant to blind as well as confusion there. So pretty strong resistances there. He's not really weak to magic like a lot of the other tanks are. He resists it by a little bit, but he's not weak, which is the huge thing. This could be 0% and be a huge deal, but he also resists it by 5, so that's a huge deal there. Really, the only thing he's going to be weak to are these piercing type units, right? We have Victoria, and if Eileen can get up in his face, she might be able to damage him up there, but he's going to have a lot of defense still. He's going to have a lot of damage reduction. So let's see that right now. Let's check out his skills. From the supportive aspect, the different passives he can equip, he has the first Warrior, 12 defense, 12% HP. This is basically a copy pasta of a pre-existing passive in the game, but it's got a different name because it's on his special job there. So very strong passive right there. We have the Providence of Darkness here, 12% magic resist and 12% dark resist. On top of that, you have Quelling Chaos, which allows you to resist defense as well as spirit breaks. So that's gonna help him maintain that tankiness, help him resist those different debuffs so he can, you know, do his job in a PvP type scenario. The jump +1 as well is gonna help you on certain maps that are vertically oriented to get around a little bit faster there. HP +15%. If you just want additional HP, you go for the first Warrior in conjunction with HP up level 1. For counters here, we have Magic Guard, which reduces magic damage taken by 45%, so you can tank magic up that way as well. He also has Dragon's Blade to counter with a little bit of a non-typed attack and absorb a little bit of that HP. You can make like a little bit of a beefier bruiser character and try to heal up a little bit damage that way. Or you also have the Warrior's Pride here, which this will activate when he gets a damage, 20% chance, and it's going to increase his defense by 10 for 3 turns there. So it doesn't really do anything to the attack that's hitting you, but it makes subsequent attacks hit you for less damage. Now we're going into his main job abilities. You will get these abilities no matter what sub job you choose. He's going to have Shift Attack here, which does a little bit of damage, but most importantly teleports you to the target. So this is going to teleport you up to 4 squares away, let you get in, cost 14 AP. This is helpful in PvP and PvE because it gets you in range of not just the person you're attacking, but if there's more enemies next to that unit, it's going to place Warrior of Light in their direct line of sight. So he's going to be tanking up damage that way because he's going to be the target of their attacks because he's the closest. He's going to have threat, all of that good stuff there. So it helps him out a ton there. Then we have Brave Presence, which is his go-to tanking skill. Costs 18 TP, which means you can use this right away Very, very strong, sort of similar to Rain's TP threat generating skill here. So it gives you 12 threat. It also gives you 12 defense and 12 spirit for 3 turns there. You get 3 casts of this. So very, very, very strong. This is his go-to staple skill, and you get it no matter what sub-job you choose. Now we also have Breath of Life. 1 cast, but it restores up to 60% of your HP right away. Very strong. 1 very strong self-sufficient cure. 24 TP. It does have a cast time. It's not the slowest, it's not the fastest, it's 280 cast speed, so a couple of speed cycles and you'll be good to go there with a Breath of Life. We also have Invincible Shield, which reduces physical damage taken by 35% for the next 3 hits. Not the next 3 turns, but the next 3 hits. So this will sit there until you get hit 3 times by physical attack. Another thing that's going to make him tanky, he's going to have these defense and spirit buffs. He has access to this physical damage reduction as well. Then he's got the go-to Holy Bravery if you want to do a little bit of damage there. 26 AP. Also has 4 squares of range, 205% light slashing damage there with Holy Bravery. Now, the additional abilities, if you choose to take Warrior of Light as your sub-job, is Deterrent Sword, 175% mod there, light slashing attack, but most importantly has a 39 attack and a 39 magic break for 3 turns there. You have to be melee range for this one, but it is a very strong supportive aspect to him. Now we also have Stop Strike, light slashing attack, 165% mod, 25% faith proc to inflict stop for 30% of the remaining actions that unit would take. So you can get stop in there, help them sort of just cool off, take a breather. But what I want to say here, guys, is unless you're really wanting this break for attack and magic, I think his most important skills are in the main job one here. The stop thing is kind of cute, but a lot of the times you guys are going to have him, 50 bravery, so the odd, or the 50 faith, so the odds of this faith mod actually stopping, so not the highest in the world, because you don't want him to take a whole bunch of extra damage. So you want him, decently balanced on faith. You don't want to be 97 faith to get the most out of the stop. You're really only getting 2 additional skills here. So unless you really highly value this attack and magic break for like a boss or something, you are more than free to choose a different sub job here. Now we have Spellblade as another sub job. We have the go-to Bioblade, Banish Blade. We've seen these before. Just a little bit of damage, adds Dark Killer or Poison. But he also has Taunting Spell, Magic Barrier, and Resist Magic. So if you put him on Spellblade, he's going to have Taunting Spell, which could help you maintain that threat even longer if you want to have this access too, because you get 3 more casts of Taunting Spell. So this is going to get in there, it's going to do damage, and it's going to give you that 12 threat as well. But more importantly, he has more options to tank magic this way as well. If you want to be a more all-rounded tank, you can do this. So we have magic resist here of 38% from resist magic. We've seen this before. We also have magic barrier, which reduces magic damage taken by 50% for the next 3 hits. So this complements his physical damage mitigation barrier of 35% very well with the magic damage mitigation barrier. You can take him to a fight and have him tank both physical and magic damage at the same time if you go up about this sort of fashion and function here for this character. I will revisit the idea of Spellblade in a second, but let's finish up Dragoon here. Dragoon, there's not really a lot of whole stuff going on in here, guys. We have Jump and Dragon Dive for some piercing attacks. If you want to get in there, make him do some damage in PvP. If you're fighting characters and units who have really high slash and resist and you want your Warrior of Light to be doing damage, you can put him on Dragoon for that reason. You have Dragon's Roar, which is a 25% chance to lower bravery. Does not always work. We have Dragon Standard for the move and jump +1. That is pretty good if you can utilize this when you're controlling the character. Make sure you can get around the map a little bit faster. He's got the jump +1 passive, so let's get some up to 3 jump and additional movement, and then you can use his Brave Teleport to teleport into the faces of players from pretty far away. And then you have Dragon's Kin if you want him to be like a bruiser-ish type damage dealer. You can get any 42% attack buff for 3 turns from Dragoon. And then finally, his Limit Burst, very strong. The Crystal Braver, 165% mod when maxed out. Not the highest in the world, and it does have decent range here. It also has AoE, as you can see. 4 tiles, and that has splash AoE of 1 tile in each direction. But the most important thing that it does is it's going to cast Protect and Shell on you as well. So you're going to get Protect and Shell. You're going to have the damage mitigation barriers from either Magic Barrier or his own Invincible Shield. You're going to have Brave Presence for defense and spirit buff. He has a lot of ways to mitigate damage, and it's very, very, very strong for that reason there. And because you have access to something like Brave Presence, you don't really need to use Vow of Light on him, and this is where that comparison video versus Engelbert really goes into those sort of those differences there, because Engelbert really needs Vow of Light to get that initial threat in a lot of matchups, whether it's PvE or PvP, whereas Warrior of Light can just kind of use any card that he wants to and maintain extra bulk through that card there. So one other reason why would you not want Spellblade on right now as your sub job? Easy, because the AI may prioritize certain abilities over other ones, depending on how they coded him for global. We don't actually quite know exactly, because he just came out not too long ago. But in a situation where you wouldn't want Spellblade, right, in like a PvP scenario, if you're fighting a lot of physical damage dealers, you don't want him taking time in turns casting resist magic. You don't want that. You don't want him to be taking turns casting magic barrier at the start of a battle if you're not fighting magic foes. So that would be a reason right now that you would not want him to take Spellblade in these auto battle setups. That's something that you're going to have to figure out if you're trying to fight a magic team. Both physical and magical, or just physical. If you want to be super safe right now, don't put him on Spellblade for Arena. Don't put him on Spellblade for Guild War. Just put him on Warrior of Light or things of that nature. Just let him do his own stuff. All of his really important skills are right here in his base job, guys. As far as the skill tree goes, there's nothing you really need to go out of your way of avoiding, because there's no like trap skill in his main job, which you want to avoid, right? Breath of Life is fantastic, Invincible Shield is fantastic, Holy Bravery is fantastic, Brave Presence is fantastic, and Brave Shift. All of these are fantastic skills for him to be using right now. And the Invincible Shield, you could check this one out, make sure that he doesn't prioritize Invincible Shield over his actual threat skill. Rain had something very similar to this on his board that gave him like in what is it, like it's immunity to like stop and petrification or paralysis or blind or something like that, and he was casting that over other skills. What you really want to be doing is making sure that that doesn't happen. If that does become a problem, hopefully soon in August we'll have the ability to turn that off, but that is the one thing that you should check out and make sure if you're really worried about him not casting Brave Presence 100% of the time at the start of the battle, then in turn make sure you don't get Invincible Shield right away. I'm not saying he's going to prioritize that, but if that is a thing, that's the only thing I can think of that would cause him to mess up AI-wise. Invincible Shield is also right down here at the very bottom right-hand corner, so there's nothing that you really need to avoid and go out of your way and avoid. You can just not get that one for right now if you're really worried about that. But outside of that, guys, that's going to be Warrior of Light. Now, what is the thing that you should be avoiding? What should you be doing when pulling for time-limited characters? What is the thing that you could be falling entrapped to? So remember, time-limited characters are time-limited. They're not around forever. This is the big thing. They're not here forever. So what do I mean? So you are going to need to be able to get the character and still have enough Visiore reserved, saved after you get the character, so you can actually get that character's shards. Now, getting a character to 99, that might not be your goal, but whatever your goal is, you need that amount of Visiore in reserve. So if you are trying to get the character to 99, you are going to need to get 600 of the character shards, whether it comes from the Whimsy shop, the normal shop, different bundles you can buy. Whatever it is, if your goal is 99, you need 600 shards after you pull Warrior of Light. Not counting any free shards you guys may pick up from expeditions, not counting any shards you may have gotten from additional dupe of Warrior of Light, things of that nature. Any sort of free shards, we're not counting those. That's going to be something for you to take out and consider, because it's going to be different for every single one of you guys out there. But 600 shards, no, 25% off, 50% off Visiore in-shop bonuses. If you're paying the flat fee for 600 shards, that is 50 Visiore a shard on average there. That's what you're going to be looking at. So for 600 shards, that's an additional 30,000 Visiore to try to get someone to level 99. Obviously, if you're trying to get them to level 89, and that's what you want to do, you subtract an additional 200 shards there, because Limit Break 1 is 40 shards, Limit Break 2 is an additional 80, and then it's an additional 120, and then it's additional 160, and then it's an additional 200 shards for LB 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, respectively. That's the breakpoint that you guys are looking at when looking at these different time-limited characters. It's going to be different for every single one of you guys. Some of you guys are going to get lucky and pull 2 Warrior of Lights in your pull. Some of you guys are going to get a lot of expedition shards. Some of you guys are going to get shards from different things, right? Some of you guys are going to buy a paid-only Visiore bundle. It's going to be different for each one of you guys, but make sure that you're not, spending your last. You're down to 10K. You're pulling. If you're down to 10K Visiore, 15K Visiore, whatever, unless you just want the unit to have the unit, you're going to be stuck with not enough Visiore to actually utilize that unit. That's the thing, and where the visions that you have to understand is that for these time-limited characters, you don't really get a long time to work at them, so you need that huge Visiore reserve to actually get that character shard. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Hopefully that made sense to you guys, and hopefully you guys are having fun out there, staying safe, making me some coffee once again. Thank you guys for the support and spending your time here again today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.